Nice! Hey guys, welcome to That Pedal Show. Dan here.
Mick here, hello.
Fuzz.
Fuzz.
So we've done some videos on fuzz, but we thought we'd revisit this because we've had a couple of revelations of late. There's been a few pedals that have come out, and you've just got something very splendiferous.
As has Dan. We're
Yes.
both a bit fizzy about fuzz this week
We are.
because, as happens, I just happened to decide I wanted a 183 Fuzz Face type thing. Ended up buying the Analog Man. And Dan has been all overtaken by the Mark II tone bender from
Pro Analog Devices.
Pro Analog Devices. Okay, so we thought, so we're on the phone going, it's got a new fuzz pedal, it's really brilliant. Yeah, so have I. Excellent. So we said, okay, why don't we do a show on classic families of fuzz, but kind of modern variants thereof, as a kickoff to some more stuff on fuzz. So today we're in sort of vintage fuzz world. We're not veering into the modern crazy bonkers fuzzes that have come out since these original designs.
There's nothing with the joystick on there. It's all
nothing
straight
8-bit
knobs.
or anything like that. But that maybe that's the next thing.
Yeah.
So really, it's about the sort of classic families of fuzz, and a couple of examples thereof. We don't have every example, but so Dan, classic fuzzes. Give us a 1 minute where it all started.
Wow. Okay. So it's the Fuzz Face, the old classic designs.
Maestro Fuzz Tone.
Maestro Fuzz Tone. I've got one right there. Can you grab that? I just want to show this because this is really important in the world of fuzz.
If only we had a few more pedals.
Okay. So this is the Maestro Fuzz Tone. This is the FZ1A, the very first one, and as you see, it comes with a handy cable for you to plug your guitar into. This was designed as a way to make your guitar sound like a horn, like a sax or something. And I mean, they made a fuzz. They didn't know how to market it. The first hit that this was on is Satisfaction. So this is the fuzz pedal used in Satisfaction. Now, quick interesting thing about that.
You've told this story before?
I know, but it's such a great story. So if you have a listen to Satisfaction, right? You have a listen to the Keith Richards doing that thing on it. You can hear... That's it. You can hear, if you listen closely, when he's playing the chorus, that you can hear on the recording. You can hear when he kicks this in. Because, and legend has it, that was only meant to be a demo. Yeah. Someone says, and that was supposed to be, he was doing horn parts.
The harmony part.
The harmony parts. He says, okay, well, I want trombones or saxophone to do this part. Give me this, I'll do the demo for it. And then they released it. The next time he heard it has been released. So that's that sound. From there, we had the...
And that started it, didn't it?
That started it. People have been, up to that point, people have been fizzing about guys who've been cranking up their amplifiers and sticking holes in their speakers, trying to get it to distort.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then enter Jimmy and Roger Mayer, who had a lot of influence early on, certainly with the designing the Octafuzz, which had this harmonic in the fuzz, which we'll get to. But these classic old designs started turning up, like the tone bender and the Fuzz Face, basically as a way that you could get distortion in your amplifier without having to turn it all the way up.
Kind of went in three directions, didn't it?
It did.
Because from the fuzz tone, you had it came to England, and then you had Gary Hurst and those guys on Denmark Street doing tone benders.
Yes.
Which was an extension of that circuit. In fact, it was a straight copy of the circuit to begin with, wasn't it? pretty much.
of the
Fuzztone. Yeah, and then it developed. There was 3 transistors. There were 2 transistors.
Yes.
Let's not go down that road.
Yeah.
The Dallas-Arbiter Fuzz Face, which was a 2 transistor fuzz pedal, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
And then later on, the Big Muff,
Yes.
Electro-Harmonix, back in America.
Yes.
So if you're new to fuzzes and you don't really know where to begin, one of those routes, have a listen to those 3, and that's really all we're doing today. So on the board, we have a version of a germanium Dallas-Arbiter Fuzz Face. That happens to be the Joe Bonamassa.
Who gave you that?
So yeah,
So I was asking, who gave you that?
well, yeah, the nice man himself.
Joe. Okay.
So yeah, so there's that's a germanium transistor fuzz face.
Yep.
We've then got, so Analog Man makes versions of fuzz faces with different transistors.
Is that Mike Pierre, Analog Man?
Yes. Oh yeah. Hello, Mike. And that has silicon transistors.
That's correct.
So we've essentially got a germanium fuzz face,
Yes.
a silicon fuzz face,
Yes.
and there are other variants within as well.
Lots of different sorts of transistors within those families.
Yeah, but this is kind of typical of the breed. We then have a Mark II tone bender, which is a 3 transistor
Yeah.
fuzz. The other 2 are 2 transistors.
Yes.
We have an Octafuzz, which puts the octave on top, and finally we have a Big Muff style Thorpy Fallout Cloud. That's what it's called now, isn't it?
It is called that now.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So this is a kind of a primer, if you will, of classic fuzz styles.
Like it.
Is that fair?
Yeah, very fair.
And then moving on beyond that, then you get into all your Z-Vex fuzz factories and all those crazy things that sound broken. We'll do that as a second, as a
Yeah, definitely.
as another show.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right, enough talking. Now I know somebody that plays a Gibson Les Paul. Daniel?
So, apparently, this Joe's Copper Fuzz Face was designed for humbuckers.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a...
I don't know why that's the case, but apparently it is. Well,
Okay.
it is the case because he plays one.
So the 2 amps we're using today are the Victory.
Victory Sheriff 44.
How good does that sound?
Doesn't sound bad.
Wicked. And the 2 Rock Studio Pro 35. Lovely. Together, they sound thusly. Oh man, that's so good. Okay,
We've set the 2 Rock up not to be like very clean. It's kind of, it's breaking up, as you could hear with the Les Paul. With the Strat, just for comparison's sake, this is what the Sheriff 44 sounds like. So obviously nothing like the girth of the Les Paul and the 2 Rock. So much cleaner.
Right. Octafuzz. just so huge.
So, initial observations. Actually, the Fuzz Faces didn't sound that different. They sounded different, but
Yep.
they didn't sound that different, even though one's germanium, one's silicon.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come on to differences in a minute. The tone bender for me tightens things up a bit.
Yep.
Definitely tightens things up in the bottom end.
Yep. Love that.
Maybe a little bit fuzzier.
Mm.
And then Octafuzz, obviously, is a completely different thing. Puts an octave on the top, and we'll come to that again in a sec. And the Big Muff style, the Fallout Cloud, is that thick, tons of bass.
And it just, that happens.
But it's bass in a different way, isn't it? Because the bass on the Fuzz Face types craps out.
Sure.
And you lose all that. And that's part of the real attraction of those pedals, I think. Whereas the tone bender style and the Big Muff style hold on to the bass in a different way.
Yeah.
Is that, would you say that's...
Yeah. The thing with the Thorpy is it has an active tone stack.
Yeah.
Big Muffs are known for this crazy bottom end. The thing with the Thorpy is that you can
roll it back.
You can roll the bottom end back, but you get that. Wow.
Yeah, you heard me doing that there. I was messing with the bass control just to sort of give you an idea of just how silly it can get. So, yeah. Cool. Right.
Should we hear what the Strat?
Yeah, okay. Just do the same thing.
Yep.
I'll play through. I'll just turn the volume up and down on the guitar a little bit as well, just so you can get an idea.
Okay.
Yep.
So much fun.
Difference is
It's
more
so
pronounced.
much fun.
Difference is more pronounced with
Yeah.
the Strat, I thought.
Yeah.
It's particularly between the two Fuzz Phi, to coin a new plural there. Certainly fatter, thicker flub on the Bonamassa one, I thought.
Yes.
On the bottom end, and Analog Man tightened things up a little bit and had a different feel overall.
Yeah.
Both of those super responsive off the volume pop.
Yes.
So the Sun Face in particular almost goes completely clean, and we'll come on to doing that again in a sec.
Well, let's do it now.
Okay.
That's a clean sound.
It's worth remembering that the Victory is set gainy as well. So. I was messing around at home with this yesterday and into a cleaner amp. In fact, could we just turn the 2-rock on for a sec?
Yep.
Turn the Page on. So I'm going to boost the Sun Face as well. Actually, the Page is coming after the Sun Face.
Yes.
So here's just the Page and the amp.
And the 2-rock, yep.
Yeah. So that's not completely clean, but it's relatively clean. There's a lot of dynamic there. And if we switch in the Sun Face, with the amp set even cleaner and a bit more volume going on at home, it just reminded me of everything we were talking about, the way Andy Timmons uses his
Boss Blues Driver.
Boss Blues Driver.
Yeah.
So
Keeley modded Boss Blues Driver.
yeah, and in a way, what I found was that when I was rolling off the volume on the Strat without the Sun Face on, you lose the top end. And in some way, I don't know why, it's almost like it's its own buffer. Well, of course it is its own buffer because that's what's happening. And you retain all this great top end. Sorry for the background noise, by the way. There's some building going on next door. So, and it just struck me, it's like, who on earth would use a Fuzz Face for their clean sound? But I just was really getting into it, getting into it.
That's beautiful.
And I think, can we just try that? Let's try that with the Dunlop one a sec and just see.
Same thing?
Yeah.
I'll try that with the Les Paul.
It's just amazing. Just, yeah. I mean, anyone who uses those kind of fuzzes regularly will know that it does this really nice rolling off to clean. And if your amp's set even cleaner, yeah, even more so. But
the big thing for me, though, the difference between the guitars. So normally, like with let's just say a standard overdrive pedal, so just the Page, with the Les Paul. Now with the Strat, so you hear how beefy this guitar is with a standard overdrive pedal. But when it comes to fuzzes, they are so ridiculously sensitive on the input,
yeah,
that it makes a guitar with a much lower output sound massive.
Yeah.
Whereas this can sound a bit choked.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And also rolling the volume down doesn't have quite the same.
No.
Doesn't just kill it instantly.
Yeah. So it's super sensitive to the guitar that you're using.
Yep.
You know. Much more so than most other effects.
Yeah, and also as an extension of that, you probably also heard that even with the Strat with high fuzz settings down on the neck pickup, it just completely goes to mush. But when you're playing up here, it gives all that extra fatness and girth. And on the bridge pickup,
swappage.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. What's that old thing then?
My 61 Vox needed a friend, so 61 Junior.
Which one was that?
That was the
Sunface.
Sunface. This is the Mark II. Oh, want to hear that with the...
Put that on. Put that on. Oh, no, hang on. All day long. So, for anyone that was
What a sound.
confused by what was happening
What a
there,
sound.
that was the
Man.
germanium Fuzz Face, the Bonamassa Fuzz Face, Octafuzz, and the timeline delay.
Yep, Octafuzz into the Fuzz Face,
Okay,
and then into the timeline.
yeah, I think he did it the other way around, didn't he?
Who did?
James Marshall
Okay,
Hendricks.
I'm gonna try that. then.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. But yeah, he. Oh no, we've said it. We have to do it.
All right, so we had...
Actually, this will be interesting. Can you put it after the Sunface and the Fuzz Face?
Put this one
Yeah.
after, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, thanks to the Gig Rig G2's movable loops there, we've put the Octafuzz after the two Fuzz Face style pedals. So let's have a quick listen to that then. What am I hearing there?
That's the Octafuzz. That's the Fuzz Face into the Octafuzz.
Wow. Sunface. Hours of fun.
Man, that is killer.
Yeah. I personally prefer the Octafuzz after.
Yeah.
After the fuzz. In true Jimmy fashion.
So good.
Yeah, okay. Well, a little run through fuzzes.
Yeah.
A little run through classic sounding fuzzes. Clearly, there are many variants of a Germanium fuzz face. Everyone talks about
just thousands.
NKT275, white dot germanium transistors, and of course how you bias them, and then they're temperature sensitive, and they change over the years. So
there are studios that keep a bunch of our fuzz faces in the fridge.
Oh, there.
Yeah, because they're so sensitive to everything.
And I guess everything varies over time, and they will change. But as one example of a germanium fuzz face, silicon fuzz face. Some say spittier sounding, some say a bit harder sounding. In actual fact, the BC183 version of the fuzz face is what Eric Johnson likes. So whatever that means. Again, they all sound a bit different. I've heard the Eric Johnson fuzz. It sounds quite different from that. But I particularly love that
that
with
does
the
sound,
Strat.
Yeah, it does sound special.
Seems to work. And I also love the way it cleans up. Wasn't cleaning up quite as much today because we've got the amps sounding... It's not crazy loud in here, so the amps are driving a bit in the front end. The kind of tone bender thing is much more your territory, isn't it?
I love
tone bender and big muffs is much more your thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So, and the thing with the Pro Analog Devices Mark II, this is basically Scotty Smith's take on it. And I used this at a gig the other night, and that tightening of the bottom end and that little bit brighter, that brighter top end.
It's getting late.
And man alive, and it just sound in the band context where I have struggled before with fuzzes because they're so big.
Yeah.
If it was just me on my own, then fair enough. But I've got Dave there who sounds mega, and in that context, a massive sounding fuzz doesn't always work. But I tell you what, man, that thing sounded wonderful.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? If you were so let's say you've come forward from the kind of psychedelia, which is sort of where we've been there, a bit sort of Jimmy territory, really, isn't it? And the kind of crazy lead. But if you come forward into the 70s and you want that big, fuzzy pop guitar sound, playing power chords and rhythm, the fuzz face is not the best option for that because it all just craps out. That's when the tone bender and the or certainly the later versions of the tone bender and the Big Muff style come into their own.
Definitely.
Particularly something like when that classic Big Muff circuit is taken and modernised, so you can cut the bass exactly as Thorpy has done.
G's done a good job on this.
And if you watch the original video we did on Big Muff style over fuzzes, you can also see things like the Muffaletta from JHS and some other takes on that. But yeah, and he has done a great job.
He's done a great job. But you know, they're all so different. But it's really fascinating to see that, you know, modern designers still drawing on these, you know, really original old circuits, just tweaking them a little bit here and there, and still coming up with mega sounds. I love that. I really do. It's great.
And the Octafuzz, well, what can you say?
Just
I mean,
awesome.
I'm not big into Octafuzz because it's a very specific thing.
But it's context with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that is the one of the ones that I've played. I've had more fun playing that than anything else I've ever played, including your really old one. Yeah,
no, so I've got the Duo Fuzz, which is the Octave thing. The Octafuzz, so obviously it's the Tycho Brahe. It's one of the really, really early ones. Apparently it's a clone apparently of the original Roger Mayer one.
Yeah.
He did for Jimmy. But you know, if the original, the old Tycho Brahe has a certain thing, but this is just, it nails it. It's great.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so there we are. Whirlwind tour through some vintage style fuzzes, kind of updated by modern manufacturers, and maybe next time we'll move forward from that and get into the crazy world, of which there are definitely hundreds. So in the comments, tell us what you'd like to see.
Tell us the most far out fuzz
you
ever heard.
That's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Far out fuzz. Excellent.
Okay, so just before we go, hope you enjoyed that. Just before we go, a bit of housekeeping. Number one, if you feel so inclined, please buy a t-shirt. Nobody says www.
No, they don't.
Anymore. You don't need it. You're so old. Thatpedalshowstore.com. And perhaps think about buying a t-shirt. Patreon, crowdfunding for creatives.
Yeah. Massive thank you to you guys who've been on there and helped out with that. We are going to do something special for our Patreon guys soon.
Before the end of time.
End of time. That's right.
And also to our exclusive preferred retailers, that is in the USA, Riff City Music. Hey, Joe. Sorry, that's going to happen every time now. And in the UK and Europe, Anderson's Music in Guildford. I'm not sure there was a Hayley.
And the comments?
Yeah,
there we go. Cheers, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next week.
Cheerio.
Cheers, guys. Bye.